Hello and welcome. If you have been here before, you may have seen my videos where I'm talking about how low my credit score was, like 350, and what I've done to increase it by over 450 points. You might have also seen the other one I made where I'm talking about the mindset shifts that I actually had to apply and learn to make that happen. Today, I'm going to be talking though about the everyday things that you can do that is going to help you increase your credit score as well. Because I didn't get into the detail of that as much in the other two. Some of it might be obvious. Maybe you've heard it before. Maybe something that you hear today is a lot more relevant now than it was the first time you heard it. The intention of me making these videos has been to share with others what I have learned about money, about finances, also about personal and spiritual growth, because especially money, that was such a hard topic for me, which is why I studied finance, because I wanted to be able to share with people what I was learning and what felt so foreign to me for a long time. When I first graduated, I was pretty disappointed to realize that I was not going to be able to help people the way I wanted to in just a purely authentic way, because most of those opportunities involved an element of sales and numbers that seemed more important than actually just helping people. I feel really grateful there's a place like this that we can do this together. So let's get to it. The thing is that with our credit scores, it doesn't matter if yours is already at 800 or 600 or whatever that is. It's just really good and important to know what the things are that are actually affecting your credit, because if you're going to buy a new car or a home or something, you want to make sure it's as high as it can be. And so maybe you will do or not do certain things when it's getting close to that time. Here are the most important things I have learned in my experience about keeping that credit score where you want it to be or increasing it. Now, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Amy. If you've been here before, thank you so much for being back. I'm really excited to share this space with you and get to talk about these different topics. There's a lot of people I talk to and over the years who have said, I didn't know that was affecting my credit. Someone that I know personally in my life has just kind of been checking in with me for the last couple years about how to increase theirs, and they've brought it from like 600 to 800. One of the ways that they did that was actually opening a credit card. I know that there are different theories of people and how they approach their finances, especially leaders in this industry who say credit cards are very bad. I don't believe that. It has helped me immensely with my credit. I think the key is knowing how to use it properly. Having a credit card helps because it shows lenders that you pay on time. Paying on time is extremely important. If you get a credit card and you use it simply, let's say, for your groceries every month, you can go buy your groceries. I do this, and I will go into my car, and as I'm sitting there before I even pull away, I make that payment to my credit card so that I am using it, but I'm also paying it off. If you want to get a credit card, but you are scared of how to actually use it or that you use too much, I highly recommend doing something like that. This also leads to one of my other points, which is if your credit is in such a place that you can't get a credit card right now, first of all, don't keep applying for them, because that will lower your credit score. Every time they check your credit, that takes a ding. What you can do instead is apply for a secured credit card. And what that means is you would be sending them money. It's like a deposit or a down payment. Then you will get the credit card. You might send them $100 and get a $100 credit card, or you might send them $100 and you'll get a $200. Now, those aren't the exact numbers. The example is just to say that it might be the amount you send them. Sometimes it's double that, it's a percentage, but that is another really great way to start building that credit. An important key here, which leads me to another one of my tips, is you should not use more than 30% max of your available credit. Now, you might even want to consider using less than that if possible. What this means is that if you have a credit card or all of your credit cards combined, it doesn't matter, you want to look at the total, but if all of your credit cards combined are a total of $1,000 available credit for you, you don't want to have more than a $300 balance at any time on there. I recently read that most people who have credit scores over 800 usually have that under 10%. For me, I look at this each month with Credit Karma, and I know that one of the things working in my favor is having a very low credit utilization. That's what that is. So the percent that I actually have as a balance on all of my credit cards combined compared to how much I actually have available. Another really important key here is the more available credit you have, the higher your credit score will be. It's not just about how much you're using on there, but as your credit starts to build, you can request an increase. Assuming your credit card has an available balance of $1,000, you've been using it for some time, you've been paying on time, you request through your credit card company an increase. It might just be a couple $100s, but that is going to make a difference because that's going to show that you have a higher available credit. This is another way that having credit cards is going to be very influential for you, because it's not just showing the payments on time and that you are paying your bills, but that you have this available money, but you don't need to use it. You're not just gonna go and max them out. Something else that is very good for your credit score is the length of credit. So your credit history is very important. If you are just starting to build credit, you don't have much credit history. So there isn't a lot for a lender to look at to know, does this person really pay on time? Yes, maybe they've been doing it for the last 6 months, but what does that really look like? Maybe they haven't ran into financial hardship yet to know how are they going to actually respond in those moments. Can we depend on them to pay us our money back, for example? This is also why closing credit cards is going to decrease your credit score. That is not to say you shouldn't close them. There are so many different reasons why you may open or close a credit card. For the example we're talking about today, closing your credit card decreases your credit score because it's lowering your available credit. So if you were to close one that's $500 and you had $1,000 to begin with, you have another that's $500, you close one of them, that decreases your available credit by 50%, by $500. So that's why that is going to affect it. So again, that's an okay thing to do, especially if maybe you're not using it responsibly. I would definitely recommend waiting to do that if you are about to apply for credit for something else, assuming you are using it appropriately at the time. Now, a couple things that could be going on with your credit is perhaps you have something on your credit report that you don't know about or you do know about that you need to dispute, let's say. I had a bill go into collections a couple of years ago and they sent my bill to the wrong address. So I didn't even know I had a bill. And by the time I got it, it was because the collection agency was calling me to let me know that I owed them all this money. I actually had just ordered a car, and so I was about to apply for credit. So this was horrible timing. It took several months. I had to call weekly to get this off of my credit report. It was quite the experience, but it was absolutely worth it because it had decreased my credit by like 100 points. Also looked like I had money in collections again. Printing up that credit report is so important. Annualcreditreport.com. You need to know what's on there. You need to know if somebody else is using your credit. Being able to dispute charges that you didn't make is so important. And this is the stuff, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to make those calls, but you have to do it for yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. And it is so hugely important and impactful. Finally, another way that you can start increasing your credit is having utility bills in your name. So this is very important. If you have a roommate and everything is in their name, although that seems kind of nice if you like the freedom of that, you are not having an opportunity there to build credit, especially if you're just starting out. So I highly recommend having some bill in your name that is going to help you start building that credit. This is also why I know when I was very young and new to this, I had to sometimes put deposits down for utility bills because I had nothing to show for it, or I had my really bad credit at the time. Your money situation might look different now than it did even just a few years ago because there are so many life events that happen that put us in these situations. So don't feel like you've done anything wrong or there should be any shame around this. We only know what we know. If you're here listening to this, that means that you're taking this seriously and you are learning how to improve and better your situation, which is amazing. And that's the hardest part, Getting started is the hardest part. So these are my main tips that I have for you on how you can start increasing your credit score. And remember that the time is going to pass no matter what. I highly encourage you to just figure out today what you can start doing to increase that score. It is so exciting when you get those alerts that your credit score has increased. If you have a credit card, there are often times now where they offer you free credit monitoring where you can go in and you can see your credit score and you can see what's on there to affect it. I even have alerts that say, you know, even my email address was on the dark web, let's say. Anything that would show up on my credit report for somebody else who's also looking at it. It's just pretty cool, all of the opportunities like that we have available to us today, because when I started on this journey, there were none of these. I hope you learned something from this. I hope that you take something you learned today and apply it, and keep encouraging yourself, keep cheering yourself on. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Please, I'd love to hear from you what you are working on or what you've done recently that has increased your credit score that you've really been celebrating. I hope to see you back here next time. Bye.